What if the secret to abundance had nothing to do with your bank account, and everything to do with your mindset? Rich energy is not just a guide to wealth, but a deep dive into the invisible forces that shape your life, your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and inner energy. This isn't about quick fixes or temporary wins. It's about transforming your internal world so that confidence, clarity, and abundance become your natural state, no matter what's happening around you. Each chapter is a powerful shift point, unlocking new levels of self-awareness, breaking through mental blocks, and helping you step into the fullness of who you're meant to be. If you're ready to stop waiting for the right circumstances and start generating your own rich energy from within, click the link in the description to download your copy today and join the Alliance Mindset Circle, where high-vibe thinkers come together to grow, connect, and thrive. Let's begin the transformation. Chapter 1. You are already enough. The foundation of abundance starts within. Before you can attract success or wealth, before you can build confidence, clarity, or purpose, there is one fundamental truth that must be embraced: you are already enough. This may sound simple, even cliché, but it's one of the most powerful and often overlooked principles of abundance. Many people spend years chasing external validation, believing that if they just earn more money, lose weight, get promoted, or achieve some other milestone, they will finally feel worthy. But the truth is, worthiness isn't something you earn, it's something you recognize within yourself. In this chapter, we begin at the very core of your inner world, your self-worth, because it is here that everything else begins to shift. Your beliefs about who you are and what you deserve shape every decision, relationship, and opportunity that comes your way. If you don't believe you are worthy of abundance, you will either repel it or sabotage it when it arrives. Let's explore why self-worth matters so deeply, and how you can begin building an unshakable sense of value from within. The hidden power of self-worth. Self-worth is not just a feeling, it's a force. It determines how you show up in the world, how you allow others to treat you, and how you respond to setbacks. It influences whether you pursue your dreams or settle for safety. Most importantly, it dictates whether you can truly receive abundance in any form: love, money, joy, success. Think of your self-worth as the soil in which all of your goals and desires must grow. No matter how beautiful the seed, if the soil is poor, nothing will flourish. Similarly, no amount of effort or strategy can override a deep-seated belief that you are not deserving of what you want. Many people try to build confidence through achievements, accolades, or comparisons, but this kind of confidence is fragile. It depends on outside approval and can crumble the moment things go wrong. True confidence, however, is rooted in self-worth. It doesn't need proof, it simply knows. So how do you cultivate that kind of unshakable self-worth? Step 1. Recognize the stories you've been told and believed. From childhood, we absorb messages about who we are and what we're capable of. These messages come from parents, teachers, peers, media, and society at large. Some are empowering, but many are limiting, and we often carry them into adulthood without question. Phrases like "you're not good enough," "you should be grateful for what you have," or "don't get too big for your britches" might have been said casually, but they leave lasting imprints on our psyche. Over time, these become internalized as truths, shaping how we see ourselves and what we believe we deserve. Take a moment to reflect. What were the dominant messages you received about success, money, or self-worth growing up? Did anyone ever tell you directly or indirectly that you weren't enough? How did those messages influence the way you speak to yourself today? Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward rewriting them. Step 2. Become aware of your inner dialogue. Your inner voice has incredible power. It shapes your emotions, decisions, and ultimately, your life. Yet, many people spend years listening to a harsh, critical inner voice without realizing how damaging it is. Ask yourself honestly. Would you talk to someone you love the way you talk to yourself? Do you constantly criticize your appearance, your choices, or your abilities? When things go wrong, do you blame yourself immediately? If your answer is yes to any of these, you're not alone, but it's time to change the conversation. Start paying attention to your self-talk. Notice when you use words like should, never, or always. These are red flags that your inner critic is running the show. Replace those thoughts with kindness, curiosity, and encouragement. Speak to yourself the way you would to a dear friend who is trying their best. Over time, this practice rewires your brain and builds a new foundation of self-trust and self-love. Step 3. Practice presence. Stop chasing validation. One of the biggest ways we disconnect from our worth is by constantly seeking validation from the outside world. We check social media likes, wait for compliments, or measure our value based on job titles, income, or relationships. But real worthiness cannot be found in anything that can be taken away. It lives in your presence, in the quiet moments when you are fully connected to yourself. Presence means being grounded in the here and now, rather than living in a future where you'll finally be enough. It means honoring your current experience, your current growth, and your current self, exactly as you are. To practice presence, spend a few minutes each day in silence. Breathe deeply and observe your thoughts without judgment. Feel your body, your heartbeat, and your breath. Remind yourself that you are whole, right now. When you ground yourself in presence, you stop needing external validation to feel okay. You start trusting that you are inherently valuable, not because of what you've done, but simply because you exist. Step 4. Align with your truth. Inner alignment means living in harmony with your values, desires, and intuition. It means making choices that reflect who you truly are, rather than who you think you should be. When you align with your truth, you begin to act from a place of integrity and authenticity. This creates a powerful energy, one that attracts opportunities, meaningful connections, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Ask yourself, am I living in a way that reflects my true values? Am I avoiding certain paths out of fear of not being good enough? What would I do differently if I believed I was already enough? Answering these questions honestly may feel uncomfortable, but it also opens the door to profound transformation. Because once you know what feels true for you, you can begin to make choices that support your highest self, not just your survival. Step 5. Begin where you are. You don't need to wait until you're ready or perfect to start believing in yourself. In fact, waiting for those conditions only reinforces the idea that you aren't enough as you are now. Abundance starts the moment you decide to show up, messy, imperfect, and vulnerable, and choose to trust yourself anyway. It starts when you say, I may not have all the answers yet, but I'm willing to learn. I may not be perfect, but I am doing my best. I may not be where I want to be, but I am moving forward. These small affirmations create momentum. They remind you that you are a work in progress, and that is absolutely okay. Remember, growth does not mean you were broken to begin with. It simply means you are evolving. Embrace the truth that sets you free. At the end of the day, abundance is not something you chase, it's something you embody. And the first step to embodying abundance is recognizing that you are already enough. You are not a project to be fixed. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a soul in process, a light unfolding, a being of infinite potential. When you anchor yourself in this truth, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission to thrive. You stop doubting your worth. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Instead, you begin to live with boldness, grace, and confidence, not because you've achieved perfection, but because you've chosen to embrace your wholeness. And that, my friend, is where real abundance begins. Chapter 2. Success is your new normal. How to wake up and act like a winner every day. If you're waiting for the perfect moment to start living like a winner, you might be waiting forever. Many people believe success is something that happens after they've achieved certain milestones, after the promotion, after the big win, after they've finally made it. But the truth is, success isn't a destination. It's not even a goal. It's a mindset, one that you choose to embody daily, regardless of your current circumstances. In this chapter, we explore what it truly means to make success your new normal, and how you can begin acting like a winner every single day, not when things go perfectly, but especially when they don't. The mindset of a winner. Let's start with a powerful truth. You don't become successful by achieving success, you achieve success by becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it. Winners don't wait for motivation to strike before they take action. They don't let their mood dictate their behavior. They don't look for permission or guarantees before stepping forward. Instead, they wake up each day and choose to operate from a place of clarity, confidence, and purpose, even when they feel uncertain, tired, or afraid. This doesn't mean they never struggle. It just means they've decided, once and for all, that struggle will no longer stop them. So, how do you begin cultivating this kind of mindset? Step 1. Start your day with purpose. The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything else that follows. If you wake up groggy, distracted, or reactive, you're likely to stay that way throughout the day. But if you intentionally create a morning routine that grounds you, energizes you, and aligns you with your goals, you'll find yourself showing up differently, more focused, more confident, and more in control. Here's how to build a powerful morning ritual. Wake up at the same time each day. Consistency builds discipline. Drink water first thing. Hydration wakes up your body and mind. Move your body, whether it's stretching, yoga, or a quick walk. Movement gets your energy flowing. Meditate or breathe deeply. Just 5 minutes of stillness can reset your nervous system. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude rewires your brain toward abundance. Review your vision or goals. Remind yourself of where you're headed and why it matters. By doing these things regularly, you train your brain to associate waking up with feeling empowered, and that's a game changer. Step 2. Treat success like a habit, not a goal. Goals are important, they give us direction. But habits are what actually get us there. Think about it, you could set a goal to earn $100,000 this year, but unless you develop the daily habits of someone who earns that kind of income, disciplined work, clear communication, consistent learning, and self-belief, you won't reach it. That's why success isn't something you chase, it's something you cultivate through repetition. It becomes part of your identity. Ask yourself, what does a successful person do every day? What kind of decisions do they make? How do they talk to themselves? How do they handle setbacks? Then start doing those things, not occasionally, but consistently. Because over time, small actions compound into massive results. Step 3. Protect your energy like it's your greatest asset. One of the most overlooked aspects of success is energy management. You can have all the talent, skills, and knowledge in the world, but if your energy is low, scattered, or drained by negative influences, you won't perform at your best. Energy is the fuel behind every thought, decision, and action. And the more aligned you are with high-vibe energy, the easier it becomes to move through life with clarity and confidence. Here's how to protect and elevate your energy. Surround yourself with positive, uplifting people. Avoid chronic complainers and energy vampires. Limit exposure to negativity, including toxic media, gossip, or social media that makes you feel worse about yourself. Say no without guilt. Boundaries are not selfish, they're necessary for preserving your peace. Rest intentionally. Rest is not laziness, it's a critical part of productivity and creativity. Engage in activities that nourish your soul. Music, art, nature, journaling, prayer, whatever helps you feel centered. When you treat your energy as sacred, you begin to operate from a place of strength, and that changes everything. Step 4. Choose consistency over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. One day you're fired up and ready to conquer the world, the next, you can barely get out of bed. But consistency? That's something you can count on. Consistency is what keeps you moving forward when you don't feel like it. It's what builds momentum when nothing exciting seems to be happening yet. It's what separates those who succeed from those who only dream. So how do you stay consistent? Focus on systems, not goals. Build routines that support long-term growth. Track your progress. Seeing small wins adds up and fuels bigger ones. Celebrate effort, not just outcomes. Show appreciation for the work you put in, even if the results aren't visible yet. Be kind to yourself during off days. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up, even imperfectly. Remember, a little bit done every day turns into something extraordinary over time. Step 5. Reframe setbacks as feedback. No matter how disciplined you become, life will throw curveballs. That's guaranteed. But here's the difference between someone who sees success as a habit and someone who sees it as a distant goal. The former sees setbacks as feedback, data points that help them adjust and improve. The latter sees them as proof that they aren't good enough. Every failure, rejection, or disappointment contains a lesson. When you shift your mindset to view challenges as opportunities to grow, you stop fearing them, and you start using them to your advantage. Try this exercise. After any setback, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What would I do differently next time? How did I show up despite the outcome? Answering these questions keeps you focused on growth rather than defeat. Make winning your default setting. Success isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you create through daily choices, habits, and mindset shifts. When you start treating success as your new normal, when you wake up each day with intention, protect your energy, act with consistency, and embrace setbacks as feedback, you begin to live like a winner. And the more you live like a winner, the more you become one. So today, tomorrow, and every day after, ask yourself, what would a winner do right now? Then do that. Because you're not waiting for success to find you anymore. You've already chosen it. Chapter 3. Break free from small habits. Why letting go of limiting routines changes everything. You are not defined by your goals, you are defined by your habits. Goals give you direction, but habits determine whether or not you ever reach your destination. The truth is, your daily routines, no matter how small, shape your identity far more than any grand vision board or lofty intention ever could. If you want to live a powerful life, one filled with confidence, clarity, and abundance, then you must be willing to let go of the behaviors that keep you playing small. This chapter will help you uncover the hidden power of habit, identify the routines that may be holding you back, and replace them with empowering choices that reflect the person you're becoming. Because when you break free from small habits, everything changes. Your identity is built in the small moments. We often think of identity as something dramatic, a title, a role, or a major life shift. But in reality, your identity is built in the quiet, everyday moments that most people overlook. What do you do first thing in the morning? How do you respond when things don't go your way? Do you follow through on what you say you'll do, even when nobody's watching? These are the questions that truly reveal who you are. And if you look closely, you'll see that your habits are simply repeated choices that reinforce your self-image. For example, if you consistently hit the snooze button instead of rising with purpose, you're reinforcing the belief that discipline isn't for you. If you scroll social media before doing meaningful work, you're signaling that distraction is more important than creation. If you skip workouts or healthy meals, you're silently agreeing that short-term comfort is worth long-term regret. The good news? Just as habits build an identity, they can also rebuild it. Every time you choose differently, even in the smallest way, you begin to rewrite the story of who you are. Step 1. Identify your small habits. Before you can change anything, you must first become aware of what's actually happening in your daily life. Many limiting habits are so ingrained, we don't even notice them, which makes them especially dangerous. They operate like background programs running your life without your permission. Start by asking yourself, what are my top 3 habits that make me feel stuck? When do I tend to lose focus, motivation, or energy? What behaviors do I justify, even though they don't serve me? Am I making excuses for things I know I should change? Be honest. This isn't about shame, it's about awareness. Once you've identified your limiting habits, write them down. Naming them gives you power over them. Here are some common small habits that often go unnoticed. Procrastinating on important tasks. Overthinking or ruminating. Comparing yourself to others. Watching hours of mindless content. Skipping planning or reflection time. Eating out of boredom or emotion. Saying yes when you mean no. These may seem minor, but their cumulative effect is massive. Step 2. Understand the root behind the routine. Every habit serves a purpose, even the bad ones. That's why trying to eliminate a habit without understanding its function rarely works. You have to dig deeper and ask, what need is this habit fulfilling? For instance, are you procrastinating because you fear failure? Are you scrolling endlessly because you feel disconnected? Are you skipping workouts because you believe you're not athletic? Are you people-pleasing because you fear rejection? When you understand the root cause behind a habit, you can address the emotional need directly, rather than just trying to suppress the behavior. This level of self-awareness allows you to replace old patterns with healthier alternatives that still meet your needs, but in a way that empowers you. Step 3. Replace small habits with empowering ones. You can't just remove a habit, you must replace it with something better. Otherwise, the void will fill itself with the same old pattern. The key is to create habits that align with the version of yourself you're striving to become. Ask yourself, what would a confident person do in this moment? How would someone who respects themselves spend their time? What action reflects the life I want to live? Then take that action, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you choose differently, you strengthen your new identity. Step 4. Build systems that support your new self. Willpower alone won't sustain change, systems will. A system is a structure or environment that makes the right choice easier. It removes friction and sets you up for success. Here are a few ways to design your life around empowering habits. Automate good decisions, set reminders, schedule time for important tasks, and prepare meals ahead of time. Remove temptation, delete distracting apps, unsubscribe from unnecessary emails, and clear clutter from your workspace. Surround yourself with accountability, share your goals with a friend, join a supportive community, or find a mentor. Track your progress, use a habit tracker, journal regularly, or set weekly check-ins with yourself. When you build systems that support your growth, you stop relying on willpower and start living on purpose. Step 5. Reframe relapse as learning. Let's be real, breaking free from small habits doesn't happen overnight. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns. That's normal. That's human. But here's the difference between someone who succeeds and someone who stays stuck. The successful person sees relapse as feedback, not failure. Instead of beating yourself up, ask, what triggered this setback? What can I learn from this experience? How can I adjust my approach moving forward? Growth is not a straight line. It's a spiral. Sometimes you circle back, but each time you rise a little higher. So if you slip up, forgive yourself quickly and get back on track. Because the real power lies not in never failing, it lies in always returning. Freedom begins with one choice. You don't need a perfect plan to change your life. You just need to make one different choice today. One decision to pause before reacting. One moment of courage to say no. One act of discipline to show up anyway. Each of these moments chips away at the small habits that have been holding you back, and in their place, something stronger begins to grow. You are not bound by your past routines. You are not trapped by your old self. You have the power to choose again and again until those choices become your new normal. And when that happens, you'll realize that freedom was never something you had to earn. It was something you chose, one habit at a time. Chapter 4. Say no to energy drains. Protecting your mental space to grow stronger. Energy is more than just how awake or tired you feel. It's the invisible force that fuels every thought, decision, action, and emotion. It determines whether you move through life with ease and purpose, or struggle under the weight of distractions, obligations, and emotional clutter. If you want to grow stronger, not just in success, but in confidence, clarity, and peace, you must learn to protect your energy like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. This chapter will guide you through the process of identifying what drains your energy, setting powerful boundaries, and choosing peace over approval. You'll discover why saying no is one of the most empowering words you can speak, and how doing so creates space for what truly matters. The hidden cost of energy drains. We often talk about time management, but rarely do we discuss energy management, even though it's the real driver behind everything we accomplish. You could have all the hours in the world, but if your energy is being sapped by toxic relationships, overcommitment, constant distractions, negative environments, people who don't support your growth, then no amount of productivity hacks will save you. Energy drains are like silent thieves, they take from you without you even realizing it. And the worst part? They leave you feeling depleted, unfocused, and disconnected from your true self. The first step to reclaiming your power is becoming aware of where your energy is going, and making intentional choices about what you allow into your life. Step 1. Identify what drains you. Start by asking yourself, what people, places, or situations consistently leave me feeling exhausted? Which interactions cause me to second-guess myself or feel small? What habits or routines drain my focus or motivation? When do I feel most mentally foggy or emotionally overwhelmed? Take some time to reflect and write down your answers. Be honest, this isn't about blaming others, it's about understanding what affects you. Here are some common energy drains. Toxic relationships, people who criticize, belittle, or manipulate you. Overcommitting, saying yes out of guilt or fear of disappointing others. Negative environments, workplaces, social circles, or media that bring you down. Digital distractions, endless scrolling, notifications, and mindless content. Self-sabotage, overthinking, comparison, and negative self-talk. Once you've identified your personal energy drains, you're ready for the next step. Step 2. Set boundaries that honor your energy. Many people think boundaries are about keeping others out, but in truth, they're about protecting what's already inside. Boundaries are how you honor your needs, values, and priorities. They create clarity, reduce resentment, and allow you to show up fully when it matters most. But setting boundaries can be hard, especially if you're used to putting others' needs before your own. Here's how to start. Clarify your limits. Know what you're willing and unwilling to tolerate. Communicate clearly, express your needs in a calm, confident way. Stick to your word, don't bend your boundaries just to avoid discomfort. Be kind but firm, you can be respectful and still say no. Let go of guilt, healthy boundaries are not selfish, they're necessary. Remember, every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to yourself. And that's a habit you want to break. Step 3. Choose peace over approval. One of the biggest reasons we let energy drains into our lives is because we fear disapproval. We worry about hurting feelings, being seen as difficult, or losing someone's approval. So we stay in unhealthy relationships, tolerate disrespect, and silence our needs, all in the name of being liked. But here's the truth. Peace cannot exist when you constantly sacrifice yourself to make others comfortable. Approval seeking keeps you stuck in survival mode, always trying to please, never truly living for yourself. But peace comes when you decide that your well-being matters more than other people's opinions. Ask yourself, am I staying in this situation because I genuinely want to, or because I'm afraid of conflict? Would I rather be liked, or would I rather feel free? Is this relationship helping me grow, or holding me back? When you choose peace over approval, you give yourself permission to live authentically, and that's where true strength begins. Step 4. Create sacred space for clarity. Your environment shapes your mindset. Just like plants need sunlight and water to thrive, your mind needs space, quiet, and intentionality to grow strong. That means intentionally designing your life around things that elevate your energy, not just removing what depletes it. Here's how to create sacred space for mental clarity. Declutter your physical space. A clean environment clears mental noise. Schedule downtime. Give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Limit screen time. Reduce exposure to draining apps, news, and social media. Surround yourself with uplifting people. Spend more time with those who inspire and support you. Practice mindfulness. Use meditation, journaling, or breathwork to center yourself daily. When you create space for peace, you invite clarity, creativity, and confidence to fill it. Step 5. Master the art of saying no. Saying no is not rejection, it's redirection. It's how you guard your time, protect your energy, and prioritize what truly matters. It's also one of the most powerful ways to respect yourself. Here are a few ways to say no gracefully. I appreciate the opportunity, but I need to focus on my current priorities. I care about you, but I can't commit to this right now. That doesn't align with my goals, I'm going to pass. I'd love to help another time, but today isn't possible. The more you practice saying no, the easier it becomes, and the more aligned your life will feel. Remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to yourself. Your energy deserves protection. You are not meant to run on empty. You are not designed to carry the weight of everyone else's expectations. You are not created to live in constant distraction or emotional exhaustion. You were born to rise, with clarity, confidence, and inner peace. And that only happens when you take full responsibility for your energy. So today, I challenge you to let go of what weighs you down. Stand firm in your boundaries. Speak your truth with kindness and courage. Choose peace over pleasing. Say no to anything that dims your light. Because when you protect your energy, you unlock your full potential, and that's when real growth begins. Chapter 5. Build a routine that makes you unstoppable. How structure creates freedom and strength. We often think of freedom as doing whatever we want, whenever we want. But real freedom, the kind that leads to confidence, clarity, and lasting success, comes from structure. Without routine, life becomes chaotic. Decisions are made reactively, energy is wasted on distractions, and goals remain stuck in the realm of dreams because there's no system to bring them to life. That's why consistency beats chaos every time. This chapter will show you how to build a daily routine that doesn't feel like a cage, but instead becomes your greatest tool for growth, discipline, and unstoppable momentum. Because when you create a rhythm that supports your highest self, you stop fighting yourself and start moving forward with purpose. Why structure is a restriction, it's your secret weapon. Many people resist routines because they fear being boxed in. They imagine waking up to an overly scheduled day filled with rigid tasks and zero flexibility. But here's the truth. Structure isn't about control, it's about creating space for what matters most. Think of it like this. When you have a strong foundation, a clear morning ritual, focused work blocks, intentional rest, and meaningful reflection, you free up mental bandwidth. You stop wasting time deciding what to do next, and instead, you simply do it. Structure gives you clarity, you know exactly what to focus on. Energy, you're not bouncing between distractions. Progress, small actions compound into big results. Peace, you stop feeling overwhelmed by endless choices. In short, structure sets you free. And once you understand that, you'll never see routine the same way again. Step 1. Start with intention, not perfection. You don't need a perfect schedule to begin building unstoppable habits. You just need one clear intention. What kind of person do I want to become? Once you have that, you can design your routine around supporting that version of yourself, not the old habits that kept you stuck. Ask yourself, who am I becoming? What does my ideal day look like? How do I want to feel at the end of each day? Let these questions guide your decisions, rather than trying to copy someone else's routine or live up to unrealistic expectations. Your routine should reflect your values, goals, and personality, not someone else's idea of productivity. Step 2. Design your ideal daily rhythm. Building a powerful routine starts with awareness. Begin by mapping out your natural energy peaks and valleys throughout the day. Some people are sharpest in the morning, others find their flow in the evening. Honor your body's rhythm, don't force yourself into a mold that doesn't fit. Then, create a framework that includes these essential elements. 1. A morning that sets the tone. Start your day with intention. Even if it's just 10 minutes of movement, gratitude, or planning, give yourself a moment to ground and energize before diving into tasks. 2. Focused work blocks. Schedule your most important tasks during your peak energy hours. Protect this time like gold, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and commit fully. 3. Movement and mindfulness. Include regular breaks for stretching, walking, breathing, or meditating. These moments keep your mind sharp and your body relaxed. 4. Time for reflection. End your day with a brief review. Ask, what went well today? What could I improve? What am I grateful for? 5. Rest that recharges. Give yourself permission to disconnect. No guilt. No hustle culture. Just deep, nourishing rest that allows you to wake up ready for another powerful day. Step 3. Make discipline feel effortless. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to do hard things, it's about making the right things easy. Here's how to build discipline without burnout. Create rituals, not rules. Rituals are enjoyable, consistent practices that support your goals. For example, a morning coffee ritual followed by journaling. An evening walk paired with music or podcasts. Weekly meal prep set to your favorite playlist. When you pair necessary tasks with something you enjoy, discipline feels less like work and more like a lifestyle. Use environment to your advantage. Design your surroundings to make good habits automatic. Keep your workspace clutter-free. Place books where you relax. Charge your phone away from your bed. Have workout clothes ready the night before. Small changes in environment lead to massive shifts in behavior over time. Track progress, not perfection. Use a habit tracker, calendar, or journal to monitor your consistency. Seeing progress, even small wins, keeps motivation alive. Remember, discipline isn't punishment. It's the act of loving yourself enough to follow through on what matters. Step 4. Stay grounded when life gets chaotic. Life is unpredictable. No matter how carefully you plan, unexpected events will disrupt your routine. That's okay. The goal isn't to follow your routine perfectly, it's to return to it consistently. When disruptions happen, don't spiral into self-criticism. Don't abandon your entire schedule because one part fell apart. Do what you can, even if it's only half the routine. Adjust and move forward. Being grounded means staying connected to your values, even when external circumstances shift. So if you miss a morning meditation or skip a workout, don't punish yourself. Simply say, today didn't go as planned, but tomorrow is a new chance. That mindset alone makes you unstoppable. Step 5. Celebrate the power of small wins. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for massive results before celebrating progress. But real growth happens in tiny increments, and those deserve recognition too. Each time you stick to your routine, even when you didn't feel like it, you've won. Each time you choose presence over distraction, discipline over laziness, and peace over pressure, you've grown. Celebrate those moments. Say thank you to yourself. Reflect on how far you've come. Because when you honor the process, the results take care of themselves. You are becoming unstoppable. Building a powerful routine isn't about rigidity, it's about alignment. It's about designing a life that supports who you are now, and who you're becoming. And the more you commit to showing up for yourself, with consistency, clarity, and care, the stronger you become. So today, ask yourself, what kind of routine would support my best self? What small step can I take right now to get started? How will I celebrate my effort, not just my outcome? Answer those questions honestly, then act on them. Because when you build a routine that fuels your energy, supports your goals, and honors your worth, you become unstoppable. Chapter 6. Show up like your future is watching. Daily actions that build long-term results. Every choice you make today echoes into tomorrow. The way you spend your time, the thoughts you allow, the actions you take, even the moments nobody sees, all add up to create the life you will one day live. That's why it's so powerful to act as if your future self is watching everything you do right now. Because in a way, they are. Your future self is silently observing every decision you make, whether you skip your goals for comfort, or show up with courage. Whether you give in to doubt, or push through resistance. Whether you waste your energy or invest it wisely. And one day, your future self will thank you, or regret, how you chose to show up today. This chapter will help you shift your mindset from short-term thinking to long-term vision. You'll discover how to treat every moment as a building block toward the life you want, regardless of current circumstances. And you'll learn how to stay committed, consistent, and courageous even when results aren't visible yet. Because real success isn't built in a single moment. It's built in the quiet, daily choices that most people overlook. The power of showing up even when you don't feel like it. Motivation comes and goes. Inspiration fades. But showing up consistently, that's what separates those who succeed from those who only dream. Think about the person you want to become. The confident version of yourself. The successful version of yourself. The peaceful, purposeful, unstoppable version of yourself. Now ask, what would that version of you do today? Would they procrastinate? Or would they take action? Would they give in to distractions? Or would they protect their focus? Would they skip the work because it feels hard? Or would they do it anyway? When you start making decisions based on who you're becoming, not just how you feel in the moment, something shifts. You begin to live with intention, with integrity, with alignment between who you are and who you're growing into. And that's where true transformation begins. Step 1. Act like your future self is watching. One of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make is to imagine that your future self is observing everything you do right now. Not judging. Not criticizing. Just watching. They're seeing how you handle setbacks. Whether you follow through on your word. If you prioritize growth over comfort. How you speak to yourself during difficult moments. Whether you show up for yourself, even when no one else is watching. Ask yourself, if my future self could see me right now, would they be proud of what I'm doing? That question alone has the power to change your behavior. Because suddenly, you're not just living for today, you're living for the life you want to build. And that gives your actions a deeper sense of meaning and responsibility. Step 2. Make today count, no matter where you are. You don't need perfect conditions to start building your best life. You don't need more time, more money, or more motivation. You just need to make today count, right where you are. Many people wait for the right moment to begin. They believe they need to feel ready before taking action. But here's the truth. You grow by doing, not by waiting. Even small steps matter. A 5-minute meditation. 1 page of journaling. A single phone call. A few minutes of focused work. A conscious breath when stress hits. These may seem insignificant in isolation, but over time, they compound into massive momentum. So stop waiting for ideal conditions. Start showing up exactly as you are, tired, uncertain, busy, or overwhelmed. Because the person who shows up imperfectly today is far more powerful than the one who waits for perfection. Step 3. Stay committed when it doesn't feel worthwhile. Let's be honest, there will be days when nothing seems to be working. You're putting in the effort, but the results aren't showing up yet. You're staying disciplined, but you don't feel like you're moving forward. You're choosing growth, but you still feel stuck. This is normal. This is human. But this is also where the magic happens. Because progress often hides beneath consistency. You don't always see it happening, until one day, you look back and realize how far you've come. That's why commitment matters more than motivation. Motivation gets you started. Commitment keeps you going, especially when things get hard, boring, or uncertain. So how do you stay committed when it doesn't feel worthwhile? Remember your why. Why did you start this journey in the first place? Reconnect with your purpose. Celebrate small wins, acknowledge every step forward, no matter how tiny. Track your progress, use a habit tracker, journal, or checklist to visually see how far you've come. Surround yourself with reminders, read inspiring books, listen to podcasts, or talk to people who uplift you. Be kind to yourself, growth takes time. Treat yourself with patience and compassion. Staying committed doesn't mean never struggling, it means continuing forward even when you do. Step 4. Treat every moment like a building block. You are always building something, whether you realize it or not. Each thought shapes your mindset. Each action builds your habits. Each choice defines your character. Each interaction influences your relationships. Each effort moves you closer to your goals. That's why it's so important to treat every moment like a building block, because the life you want isn't created in one big leap. It's built brick by brick, day by day. Imagine constructing a house. Would you skip laying the foundation because it wasn't exciting? Would you ignore the walls because you wanted to jump straight to the roof? Of course not. Yet many people try to build their dream lives without doing the foundational work, the daily habits, the mindset shifts, the inner healing. But you know better now. You understand that greatness isn't something you chase, it's something you practice. It's something you choose, again and again, until it becomes who you are. Step 5. Take full responsibility for your future. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you the life you want. But that's actually good news, because it means you have the power to build it yourself. Taking full responsibility for your future doesn't mean blaming yourself for past mistakes. It means recognizing that your present choices determine your future reality. It means owning your habits, both good and bad. Taking action, even when you don't feel like it. Learning from setbacks instead of letting them define you. Choosing growth over comfort, even when it's hard. Knowing that your future self is counting on you to show up today. When you take full responsibility, you stop waiting for permission. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop blaming circumstances. Instead, you start creating results, not someday, but today. And that makes all the difference. Show up like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future is being shaped in the small moments you may not even notice. The choice to protect your energy instead of wasting it. The discipline to stick to your routine when you'd rather quit. The courage to speak up when silence would be easier. These are the moments that build a life of confidence, clarity, and abundance. Show up like your future is watching. Because it is. And one day, your future self will look back and smile at the person who decided to keep going, even when it was hard, even when nobody else saw it, even when they didn't feel like it. Chapter 7. Give your best when nobody's watching. The quiet power of self-respect and discipline. Success doesn't always look glamorous. It rarely has cameras flashing or crowds cheering. It often happens in silence, in the early morning hours before anyone else is awake, in the moments between distractions, in the choices you make when nobody is watching. That's where real character is built. Because true discipline isn't about performing for others, it's about showing up for yourself, even when there's no reward, no recognition, and no applause. This chapter explores why giving your best effort in private is one of the most powerful things you can do for your future self. You'll discover how unseen efforts build integrity, consistency, and self-trust, and how these quiet habits become the foundation of lasting success. What you do when nobody's watching defines who you are. You may not realize it, but your private moments are shaping your public life. Every time you choose to get up instead of hitting snooze, to eat well instead of reaching for comfort food, to work instead of scrolling mindlessly, to speak kindly to yourself instead of criticizing, to show up for your goals instead of waiting for motivation. You're building something deeper than habit, you're building character. Character is who you truly are when nobody is looking. And it's in those moments, the ones only you see, that your future is quietly being decided. Because greatness isn't born in grand gestures alone. It's born in the small, consistent choices you make every single day, especially when no one else sees them. And that's why giving your best when nobody's watching is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect you can ever practice. Step 1. Recognize that integrity is a daily choice. Integrity isn't just about honesty, it's about alignment. It means doing what you say you will do, even when it's hard, inconvenient, or uncomfortable. It means honoring your word to yourself, not just to others. And here's the truth, nobody forces you to be disciplined. Nobody makes you stick to your values. Nobody watches over you during your quietest moments. Only you know whether you gave your best today, or settled for less. So ask yourself, am I living in alignment with who I say I am? If not, it's not a failure, it's feedback. Because integrity isn't about perfection. It's about making the choice again and again, even after you've fallen short. And each time you choose integrity, you strengthen your sense of self-worth and deepen your trust in yourself. Step 2. Understand that consistency builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come from external validation, it comes from proving to yourself, over and over, that you can be trusted. When you give your best effort consistently, even when nobody's watching, you begin to believe in yourself. You start to know that you will follow through. That you won't quit just because it gets hard. That you will keep going, even when progress feels slow. That kind of confidence isn't fragile. It doesn't crumble under pressure or disappear when things go wrong. It grows stronger with every unseen act of discipline. So stop waiting for someone to notice. Stop waiting for applause. Start giving your best now, not for approval, but for yourself. Because every time you do, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, committed, and worthy of success. And that belief becomes unshakable. Step 3. Build self-trust through small, unseen acts. Self-trust is like muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And just like muscles, self-trust is built through repetition, through small, daily actions that prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. For example, you promised yourself you'd meditate for 5 minutes, and you did. You said you'd write 1 page of your book, and you followed through. You committed to drinking more water, and you stuck with it. You told yourself you'd go to bed earlier, and you honored that. These may seem minor, but they are huge. Each time you honor your word to yourself, you build a bridge of trust between who you are and who you're becoming. And that bridge becomes unbreakable when reinforced by consistency. So today, ask yourself, what small commitment can I make and keep without needing anyone else to see it? Then do it. Because that's how you build unstoppable self-trust. Step 4. Embrace the freedom of inner motivation. Many people rely on external motivation, praise, rewards, competition, or fear of judgment to push themselves forward. But real freedom comes from inner motivation, the ability to take action simply because it aligns with who you are and what you value. When you give your best when nobody's watching, you free yourself from needing outside validation. You stop chasing approval and start living from purpose. That kind of freedom is rare and incredibly powerful. Because when you know you can count on yourself, even when no one else is around, you unlock a level of confidence and clarity that few ever reach. So let go of the need to be seen. Let go of the need for instant results. Instead, focus on doing what's right, because it's right, and watch how that simple shift transforms your entire life. Step 5. Protect your standards, even when others don't notice. Your standards are sacred. They define the quality of your work, the depth of your relationships, and the integrity of your choices. And the most powerful way to protect your standards is by holding yourself accountable, even when nobody else does. Ask yourself, am I compromising my values for convenience? Am I lowering my standards to fit in or avoid discomfort? Am I allowing distractions to pull me away from what matters? Because if you don't protect your standards, nobody else will. And the cost of letting them slip, even once, is greater than most people realize. Every time you settle for less than your best, you weaken your sense of self-respect. Every time you justify poor behavior because no one saw it, you erode your own power. But every time you rise to meet your own expectations, even when nobody else knows, you become stronger. More grounded. More confident. More aligned with who you truly are. The world sees what you show, but you know what you built. Nobody will ever see all the effort you put in behind the scenes. They won't know how many times you got back up after falling. They won't see the silent sacrifices you made. They won't witness the discipline it took to stay focused when nobody was watching. But you will. And that's what matters most. Because the person you're becoming, the version of yourself that lives with confidence, clarity, and abundance, is being shaped in those private moments. So keep showing up. Keep choosing integrity. Keep giving your best, even when nobody's watching. Because one day, the world will see the results, and you'll know exactly how they were built. One quiet, powerful choice at a time. Chapter 8. Think rich, speak rich, move like you mean it. Aligning thought, word, and action for real change. You are not waiting to become someone who deserves abundance. You are not one more goal away from being worthy of success. You are not lacking anything, you simply need to align your thoughts, words, and actions with the person you already are becoming. Because here's the truth. Abundance isn't something you chase, it's something you embody. And the fastest way to embody it? Align your mind, your mouth, and your movement with the energy of someone who already owns their power, purpose, and prosperity. This chapter will guide you through 3 powerful shifts. Thinking like someone who attracts abundance. Speaking like someone who commands respect. Moving like someone who knows their worth. When these 3 forces come into harmony, you create a magnetic pull toward opportunity, confidence, and real transformation. Let's begin. Step 1. Think rich, master your inner dialogue. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything you experience. They shape how you see yourself, how you interpret the world, and what you believe you deserve. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, or scarcity thinking, no amount of external success will make you feel abundant. But if you train your brain to think rich, to believe in your value, your potential, and your ability to create results, then abundance becomes inevitable. So how do you start thinking rich? Replace scarcity thoughts with abundance beliefs. Scarcity says, I don't have enough. I'll never catch a break. Success is for other people. Abundance says, there's more than enough for me. Opportunities are always opening up. I am capable, creative, and confident. Make this switch daily. Catch negative thoughts when they arise, and reframe them immediately. Practice visualization like a winner. Winners don't just imagine success, they feel it, see it, and act as if it's already unfolding. Take 5 minutes each day to visualize yourself making powerful decisions. Speaking with clarity and confidence. Walking into rooms with calm authority. Receiving opportunities with gratitude and ease. The more vividly you can imagine your success, the more naturally it begins to unfold in reality. Surround your mind with rich thinking. What you consume shapes your consciousness. If you want to think rich, feed your mind rich content. Listen to inspiring podcasts. Read books by successful people. Follow thought leaders who challenge and uplift you. Limit exposure to negativity and complaint-based media. Remember, your mind is like a garden. Water it with powerful thoughts, and watch abundance grow. Step 2. Speak rich, command respect with your words. Words are not just communication, they are creation. Every time you speak, you reinforce your beliefs, shape your reality, and influence how others perceive you. If you talk like someone who lacks confidence, people will treat you that way. But if you speak like someone who knows their worth, doors begin to open. Here's how to speak rich. Use language that reflects confidence. Avoid phrases like, I guess I could try. I'm not really sure. Maybe if I'm lucky. Instead, say, I'm going to take action on this. I know what I bring to the table. I'm stepping into my power. Even if you don't fully feel it yet, speaking confidently helps your brain catch up to the version of yourself you're becoming. Own your value without apology. Many people downplay their achievements out of fear of sounding arrogant or unrelatable. But owning your value isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. When asked about your work, your goals, or your progress, respond with clarity and pride. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Let your presence be felt. Say, I've worked hard to get where I am. I believe in what I'm building. I'm proud of the progress I've made. Own your story, and let your words reflect that ownership. Speak with clarity and conviction. Confident people don't mumble, ramble, or over-apologize. They speak clearly, directly, and with conviction. Practice this by slowing down your speech. making eye contact when you talk, saying exactly what you mean, without fluff or filler words, standing tall while speaking. Your voice carries energy. When you speak like you mean it, people listen, and so does the universe. Step 3. Move like you mean it, embody power in every step. Your body language tells the world who you are, before you even speak. And more importantly, it tells your subconscious mind how to feel. If you slouch, avoid eye contact, and move hesitantly, your brain gets the message: I'm unsure, I'm afraid, I don't belong. But if you stand tall, walk with purpose, and take up space with grace, your brain receives a different signal: I'm ready, I'm strong, I belong exactly where I am. That's why moving like you mean it is one of the most powerful tools in your abundance toolkit. Here's how to do it. Improve your posture instantly. Stand or sit with shoulders relaxed and back, chin slightly lifted, feet grounded firmly on the floor, spine long and straight. This posture sends a signal to your nervous system that you are confident, capable, and in control. Walk with purpose. Notice how you move throughout your day. Do you shuffle? Rush? Hesitate? Now try walking with intention. Heel-to-toe motion. Slight bounce in your step. Shoulders aligned with hips. Eyes forward, not down. When you move like you have somewhere important to go, because you do, people notice. Take up space unapologetically. Don't fold yourself into corners. Don't apologize for existing. Sit at the table. Stand in the center. Claim your place. You are allowed to be seen. You are allowed to take up space. And when you do, you give permission to others to do the same. Breathe like someone who owns their power. Most people breathe shallowly, which keeps them in a state of stress and scarcity. But deep, full breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part that helps you feel calm, centered, and in control. Practice taking slow, deep breaths throughout the day, especially before big moments. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple habit instantly raises your energetic vibration and grounds you in your power. You are already rich, now live like it. You don't need permission to show up as your best self. You don't need validation to speak your truth. You don't need proof to walk like someone who belongs. Because you already do. You already have what it takes to attract abundance, command respect, and live with confidence. All you need to do now is align your thoughts, words, and actions with the life you desire, and let that alignment lead you forward. So today, and every day, think rich, speak rich, and move like you mean it. Because you're not pretending to be powerful. You already are. Chapter 9. Protect your peace and focus on your path. Why clarity beats chaos in the pursuit of growth. Peace isn't just a nice-to-have, it's non-negotiable if you want to grow. You cannot build confidence when your mind is cluttered. You cannot attract abundance when your energy is scattered. You cannot move forward powerfully when your focus is constantly pulled in 10 different directions. If you want real progress, not just in success, but in clarity, joy, and purpose, then you must learn how to protect your peace and stay focused on your path. This chapter will show you how to guard your mental space, filter out noise, and live intentionally so you can build a meaningful, successful life, without getting derailed by distractions or comparison. Because in a world full of chaos, clarity is your superpower. Why peace is the foundation of progress. Many people chase success thinking it will bring them peace, but the truth is, peace must come first. Without peace, success feels empty. Without peace, growth feels stressful. Without peace, you'll always be one distraction away from losing your momentum. Peace is not about having a perfect life, it's about being undisturbed in the midst of imperfection. It's knowing that no matter what's happening around you, you have control over your internal state. You can choose stillness over stress, presence over panic, intention over reaction. And when you operate from peace, everything changes. You make better decisions. You handle setbacks with grace. You stop wasting energy on things you can't control. you become more attractive to opportunities, aligned relationships, and fulfilling work. So how do you start protecting your peace? By becoming intentional about what you allow into your mind, heart, and daily life. Step 1. Guard your mental space like it's sacred. Your mind is where everything begins. Every action, emotion, and result starts as a thought. That's why protecting your mental space is one of the most powerful things you can do for your growth. Here's how to do it. Limit exposure to negative input. Be selective about what you consume, especially online. Not all content is created equal, and not all voices deserve space in your mind. Ask yourself, does this media uplift me? Does this conversation add value? Does this relationship support my growth? If the answer is no, remove it or reduce its influence. Practice daily detox. Give yourself regular breaks from social media, news cycles, overstimulating content, toxic conversations. Instead, replace those inputs with mindfulness practices, uplifting books or podcasts, time in nature, meaningful connection. When you detox your mind regularly, you create space for peace to return. Create quiet time. Schedule moments of silence every day. Even 5 minutes of stillness can reset your nervous system and bring clarity back into focus. Try morning meditation, evening journaling, breathing exercises, walking in nature without distractions. These small habits help you reconnect with your inner compass and keep you grounded in the midst of life's chaos. Step 2. Say no to distractions that steal your energy. Distraction is the enemy of focus. And focus is the key to mastery. If you want to grow, you must learn to say no to anything that pulls you off your path, even if it seems harmless or urgent. Ask yourself, what distractions are keeping me from doing my best work? What habits or routines waste my time and energy? What commitments drain me instead of energize me? Once you identify these distractions, take action to eliminate or minimize them. Remember, saying no to distractions is saying yes to your highest self. Step 3. Stay focused on your unique journey. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of peace. It makes you feel like you're falling behind, even when you're exactly where you need to be. But here's the truth. Everyone has their own timeline. Everyone has their own journey. Yours is valid, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. So stop measuring your progress against others. Stop worrying about what someone else has achieved. Stop doubting yourself because you haven't arrived yet. Focus on your path, not theirs. Ask yourself, am I growing? Yes or no? Am I learning? Yes or no? Am I moving forward? Yes or no? If the answer is yes to any of those, you're doing just fine. To stay focused, keep your goals visible. Review your progress weekly. Celebrate small wins. Reflect on how far you've come. When you shift your focus from comparison to contribution, you begin to see growth not as competition, but as evolution. And that's where real peace comes from. Step 4. Filter out noise and trust your inner voice. In a world full of opinions, advice, and trends, it's easy to lose touch with what truly matters to you. But the only voice that should guide your life is your own. Trust your intuition. Honor your values. Listen to what feels true for you, not what everyone else says you should do. Filter out the noise by asking, does this align with who I am? Does this support the life I'm building? Does this feel right in my gut? If not, let it go. You don't need permission to walk your own path. You don't need approval to prioritize your peace. You don't need validation to know what's best for you. All you need is the courage to listen and the discipline to follow through. Step 5. Live with intention, not reaction. Living reactively means letting life happen to you. You respond to every message, crisis, or demand without stopping to ask whether it serves your vision. But living intentionally means choosing your actions based on purpose, not pressure. Here's how to live with intention. Start each day with a clear focus. Schedule your priorities before distractions arrive. Make decisions based on long-term goals, not short-term emotions. Regularly revisit your values and adjust your path accordingly. Intentionality creates alignment, and alignment leads to fulfillment. So today, ask yourself, am I reacting to life, or am I creating it? The answer determines everything. Peace isn't found, it's chosen. Peace doesn't come from perfect conditions, it comes from conscious choices. It comes from filtering out what drains you, focusing on what matters, and protecting your energy like it's your most valuable asset. It comes from staying grounded when the world tries to pull you off course. From trusting your path even when it's unclear. From showing up as your best self, not when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. So now it's your turn. Protect your peace. Stay focused on your path. Live with intention. Because the life you're building deserves your full presence, not your scattered energy. And when you lead with peace, everything you want will find its way to you. Chapter 10. Live like wealth already belongs to you. The final shift that changes everything. Wealth doesn't begin in your bank account, it begins in your mind. It starts as a belief. A feeling. A knowing that you are worthy, capable, and deserving, not after you achieve success, but right now, exactly as you are. This final chapter invites you to make one of the most powerful decisions you can ever make. To stop waiting for permission to feel successful, and start living like wealth already belongs to you. Because when you align your identity with abundance, before the money shows up, before the title changes, before the world recognizes your worth, something extraordinary happens. You become a magnet for what you desire. You shift from chasing success to embodying it. And in doing so, you change everything. The truth about abundance, it's not what you think. Most people believe they need more time, more experience, or more resources before they can truly feel wealthy. They wait for the next raise, the perfect business idea, the big win, approval from others, proof that they deserve it. But here's the truth. Abundance isn't earned, it's embodied. Waiting until you have enough to feel wealthy only keeps you stuck in lack. Instead, you must begin by feeling abundant and let that energy attract the results you want. Think of it like this. If you were already financially free, how would you think? How would you speak? How would you move through the world? Would you walk around doubting yourself? Probably not. Would you constantly apologize for taking up space? No. Would you hesitate to ask for what you want? Absolutely not. You'd act like someone who already owns their power, because you do. So why wait? Start acting like it now. Because the moment you live as if wealth already belongs to you, it begins to follow. Step 1. Claim your worthiness today. Worthiness is not something you earn, it's something you claim. You were born with value. With potential. With purpose. Yet many people spend years proving themselves, trying to convince the world, and themselves, that they deserve success. But here's the secret. You don't have to prove your worth, you simply have to accept it. So today, I invite you to do just that. Say it out loud. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of peace, joy, and fulfillment. Let that truth settle into your bones. Repeat it daily, especially when doubt creeps in. Because when you claim your worthiness, you give yourself permission to receive everything you've been waiting for. Step 2. Act like the person you're becoming. Your actions shape your identity, and your identity shapes your reality. So ask yourself, what would the person I'm becoming do today? Would they procrastinate on their goals? Or would they take action? Would they waste time scrolling? Or would they invest it wisely? Would they tolerate disrespect? Or would they stand tall in their value? Would they downplay their achievements? Or would they own their greatness? Every choice you make is either reinforcing who you are now, or building who you're becoming. So stop waiting to be ready. Stop waiting for motivation. Start acting like the person you're growing into, confident, capable, and unshakable. Because every time you do, you become that much closer to them. Step 3. Speak like someone who owns their power. Words carry energy. When you speak like someone who lacks confidence, you reinforce scarcity. When you speak like someone who knows their worth, you create abundance. So start speaking like the version of yourself that already has what you want. Use language that reflects clarity. I know what I want. Confidence. I trust myself. Self-respect. I honor my needs. Gratitude. I appreciate my progress. Avoid phrases like, I hope I get. I'll try. Maybe someday. Instead, say, I'm creating. I'm stepping into. I'm moving toward. Your words shape your reality, so choose them like someone who already owns their future. Step 4. Move through life like someone who knows their value. Your body language tells the world, and your subconscious, who you believe you are. If you slouch, avoid eye contact, and rush through life without presence, you signal uncertainty. But if you walk tall, speak clearly, and take up space with grace, you project confidence. So move like someone who is proud of who they are, trusts their intuition, deserves respect, believes in their vision. Take deep breaths. Stand tall. Smile often. Speak with conviction. Because when you move like someone who knows their value, the universe starts treating you that way too. Step 5. Release guilt around success. Many people unconsciously hold themselves back because they feel guilty about wanting more. They worry. What if I have more than others? What if I'm seen as arrogant? What if I fail and look foolish? But guilt around success only keeps you small. Here's the truth. Wanting more is not selfish, it's human. You are allowed to dream big, to ask for more, to build a life filled with abundance, joy, and impact. And the best part? The more you grow, the more you uplift others. So release any guilt you've been carrying, and embrace the fullness of your potential. Because you were meant for more, not just for yourself, but so you can help others rise too. Wealth already belongs to you, now go claim it. You are not lacking anything. You are not behind. You are not broken, waiting to be fixed. You are whole. You are powerful. You are already enough. And now, it's time to live like it. Start thinking like someone who attracts abundance. Start speaking like someone who commands respect. Start moving like someone who knows their worth. Because the moment you begin living like wealth already belongs to you, it does. And from that place of alignment, confidence, and clarity, everything changes. Conclusion. Living the life you deserve starts today. You now hold in your hands more than just a book, you hold a blueprint for transformation. Over the course of these pages, we've explored the mindset shifts that separate those who live in abundance from those who only dream of it. We've uncovered how to build confidence, protect your energy, and create a life filled with purpose, clarity, and success. But knowledge alone doesn't change lives, action does. So as we bring this journey to a close, let's revisit the core truths you've learned. You are already enough. Your worth isn't something you earn, it's something you recognize. Success is your new normal. Success isn't a future goal, it's a daily choice. Break free from small habits, the little things you do every day define the person you become. Say no to energy drains. Protecting your mental space is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect. Build a routine that makes you unstoppable. Structure creates freedom, not restriction. Show up like your future is watching. Every decision today shapes the life you'll live tomorrow. Give your best when nobody's watching. Real character is built in private moments of discipline and integrity. Think rich, speak rich, move like you mean it, align your thoughts, words, and actions with the life you want. Protect your peace and focus on your path. Clarity beats chaos, always. Live like wealth already belongs to you. Abundance begins in your mind before it appears in your reality. These are not just ideas, they are invitations. Invitations to rise, to grow, to lead with confidence, to live with intention. And now, it's time to answer them. Because change doesn't come from reading, it comes from doing. It doesn't come from wishing, it comes from consistent, intentional living. Start today. Choose belief over doubt. Choose action over waiting. Choose peace over distraction. Choose growth over comfort. And above all, choose yourself. The life you deserve is not waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you, fully committed, fully present, and fully ready. Now go claim it.